What's going on, Cover Killer Nation? I am back again for another album review. One that I had alluded to earlier this week, but I'm actually going to go for it. And it kind of pains me on the inside to say that I'm going for it, but I'm going for it! The album review that we're doing today is Born This Way by Lady Gaga. Yeah, I'm doing it. Why the hell am I doing this? Why am I touching base on this album? Well, because it's kind of an interesting case. It's one of those things where this is one of those big sellers that everyone's talking about and everyone was waiting for. There were tons of reservation requests, there were contests, blah 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 blah. So, why not see what the hype is all about? Of course, if you guys remember some of my older videos, such as, I think it was Punk Goes Pop 3, you heard me admit that I did say that I liked a little bit of Lady Gaga, which is true because she's kind of catchy. So, Born This Way is, of course, the highly anticipated third album, which of course is coming after The Fame Monster, which is coming after The Fame, both of which were hugely successful and spawned a number of singles that your local teeny bopper is probably repeating to you to the point where you want to kill them. That being said, I'm going with a 14-track Born This Way as opposed to the 22-track special edition because there's only so much of this crap that I can take. And that's me being honest, not me casting stones. But now I have to start casting some stones. What I got whenever I listened to this particular record, and like I said, there's only so much of this I can take before I just want to grind my bones into dust and slowly decay in a corner somewhere. Well, there's a lot of worship of the 1980s in here, which is kind of apt only because there's a lot of Madonna references that have been made saying that Lady Gaga is kind of the new incarnation of, or reincarnation, should I say, of what Madonna's career was in the 1980s. You could definitely see it from her outlandish style and behavior and the way in which things kind of have been provoked by her and the different emotions and the different topics in which she kind of touched bases on. However, the one thing that I've noticed with their 80s worship, it's kind of with this updated dubstep sound. However, you hear a lot of songs that really remind you of the 1980s, such as Journey's Don't Stop Believin', such as Depeche Mode, such as Madonna herself, and others, just to name a few. And there's something that whenever I listen to this record, it kind of became apparent to me, is that she uses kind of the same little structure, the same little progression a lot during this particular record on multiple songs. You can kind of hear it, and it's where I kind of get the little Depeche Mode vibe from it a lot. It's like da 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 da. I understand that it's pop music. I understand that it's not necessarily the most, outgoing and very, I guess, it's not one of the most creative genres out there. It's not something where there's a lot of output that's going to be exceptionally mind-blowing as far as the creativity is concerned, but you would expect a little bit more. And that's not something that you get on this album. You get the dubstep, which is really just ruining everything. I hate to say this. If you're a fan of this stuff, I'm sorry, but this is ruining things. This whole little dubstep revolution that's going on where it's being output into pop music is ruining dubstep and it's ruining pop music. Not that pop music really had all that much to offer to begin with. So as you drone through these tracks, you get different topics such as Hollywood, such as the government, such as America, such as sex, such as... there's even a song called Heavy Metal Lover, which is just ridiculous. It's redonkulous. There's no purpose for it. There's not a lot of purpose for a lot of this stuff. I originally wasn't even going to touch bases on this album because the first three songs that I heard, which was Born This Way, Judas, and Edge of Darkness, did absolutely nothing for me. These are songs that I couldn't even really call good. These are songs that were average at best, and Born This Way infuriated me because, listen, I understand the message of the song, but if these people out there, especially you, who maybe are 14 years old and are thinking to myself, well, Lady Gaga has told me that I can be whatever I want to be because this is the way I was born, baby. Put your paws up, because I was born this way. Yeah, 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 yeah. If you need a song, if you need an individual that's popular in Hollywood in order to really understand or grasp that feature, to understand that concept, just stop. Stop. Listen to yourself as opposed to listening to an artist that's telling you to listen to yourself. You should know this already. This is something that should be a part of culture. It's something that you should understand, and it should be ingrained in your head. You should be proud of who you are, because who you are is who you are. And if you just become a sheep, well, then you're nobody. By following this philosophy of being who you are, guess what you're doing? You're following another pack. So, thusly becoming another sheep. Yeah, pretty bad, isn't it? Not to mention, aside from the fact that the music here seems very uninspired and does not really seem to be attracting all that much, as the sales have not been anything like the Sales of the Fame on Stir of the Fame. And trust me, I remember it because I worked for both of them. This has got to be one of the worst album cover concepts of all time. Lady Gaga as a motorcycle. Really dumb. First time I saw this, I didn't believe it. I did a double take. So let's put this all together. You have some really dull and listless music. You have topics that should be already well known by people, but the fact that they don't accept it is just ridiculous. You have Lady Gaga as a motorcycle, and you have a lot of worship of the 1980s. I can understand a revival. I can understand that I've probably uttered the words, this band is really conveying a lot of emotion from this era. But this is an album where that doesn't seem to work very well. In fact, this is an album where it seems to really defeat the purpose. This is not an album that I recommend. Since most of you are metal fans, I certainly don't recommend it to you. But if you're a pop fan and this might be your first Lady Gaga experience, just don't. Just don't. This is not all that good. Really not worth it. I don't understand the hype. Maybe I never will. People are going to be infuriated at me, and I don't care, because it's my opinion. Give me an actual basis of an argument, maybe we'll talk. Lady Gaga, Born This Way, should have never been born. Cover Killer Nation saying, I'm not doing this pop crap ever again.